You thought you knew Star Trek? After all, it's one of the most dissected shows in television history, decades of fan theories, rewatch marathons, and online breakdowns. But here's the thing, even the most hardcore Trekkies missed these. Today, we're digging deep, uncovering 15 jaw-dropping behind-the-scenes details and production secrets that stayed hidden in plain sight for over 50 years. And trust me, number one is so wild, even the crew tried to cover it up. Let's get into it. Scotty's secret war injury. Montgomery. Scotty Scott, the miracle worker of the Enterprise, had a physical secret most fans never noticed. The actor behind Scotty, James Doohan, was a real-life war hero. During D-Day, he was shot 6 times. One bullet took off his right middle finger. Instead of writing it into the character, producers worked around it. Clever camera angles, left-hand close-ups, and even the use of hand doubles effectively hid the injury completely. Prop tools were even designed so you'd never see the missing digit. So the next time you rewatch, pay close attention. Or don't, because it was meant to be invisible. Whiskey bottles as alien brandy. That fancy alien liquor. Yeah, it was just whiskey bottles. Those sleek Saurian brandy decanters, which looked so alien, were actually 1964 commemorative George Dickel whiskey bottles. The prop team barely modified them, just added some colored liquid and a label. And fans bought it. These bottles have since become highly collectible, not just for bourbon lovers, but for Trekkies with an eye for hidden props. And that wasn't the only Earth object that became alien tech. The font-size feud between Shatner and Nimoy. Turns out, Star Trek's opening credits hid a quiet power struggle. William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy had a unique contract clause. Nimoy's name had to appear in the credits at precisely 75% the size of Shatner's. Why? Ego, status, negotiations, all wrapped up in font size. This typographical drama carried over into the films as well. Shatner even used his contract to demand directing rights. Bold move, Captain. Klingon armor was made of bubble wrap. No joke. Those fierce Klingon warriors you feared as a kid, they were wearing bubble wrap. Painted, strategically placed, and cleverly lit, but still bubble wrap. Costume designer Bill Thies referred to it as sealed air and claimed it was chosen for artistic reasons, not budgetary considerations. Either way, it worked. For years, no one noticed. That's the magic of Star Trek's illusion. And this next one? Even more out of this world. The ping-pong ball starship. The first alien ship to challenge the Enterprise, the Facerius, was built from plaster and cut-up ping-pong balls. Special effects teams glued them onto a big orb and lit it up to create a glowing, otherworldly vessel. The entire thing cost just over $17,000 to film, which was a lot then, but it still looked shockingly convincing for such a low-budget model. Today, fans debate if those were actually ping-pong balls or plastic buttons, but either way, it's a testament to the show's creativity. Kirk's tombstone said, "James R. Kirk." One of the most famous continuity errors in Trek history happened in Episode 3. After gaining godlike powers, Gary Mitchell creates a tombstone for Kirk, and it reads, "James R. Kirk." Oops. Fans were confused. But series creator Gene Roddenberry offered a cheeky fix. Mitchell, despite his powers, was still human, and humans make mistakes. A perfect Star Trek explanation. The moving star field. It was rear projection. The illusion of the Enterprise soaring through space was groundbreaking for its time. Behind the scenes, it was created with an Oxbury optical printer and painted star fields on white backdrops. Animators moved these layers in different directions to simulate warp speed. Each scene took hours or days to produce. And yet, they nailed the feeling of infinite space with a few feet of painted canvas. They flipped the Enterprise footage. Ever notice the ship's name appearing backward? That wasn't a mistake. It was on purpose. To save time and money, editors flipped footage horizontally to hide Earth, unwanted backgrounds, or reuse scenes. It worked so well that most people never noticed, but eagle-eyed fans eventually caught on when the Enterprise's NCC 1701 read as gibberish. Oops. Again. The Starfleet arrowhead wasn't for everyone. The arrowhead badge on Kirk's chest wasn't a Starfleet symbol, it was an Enterprise symbol. Each ship originally had its own insignia. It wasn't until after the original series that the arrowhead was adopted across Starfleet. A subtle detail that adds depth, and now you'll never unsee it when you rewatch. Star Trek used the Andy Griffith Show. Set those quiet, small-town streets from the city on the edge of Forever and Miri, that was Mayberry. Yep, Captain Kirk walked the same streets as Sheriff Andy Taylor. NBC reused the set to cut costs, and Star Trek's wider camera angles revealed buildings the Griffith Show never showed. You can even spot Floyd's barber shop if you look closely. Suddenly, the 1930s New York and small-town America don't feel so far apart. The GNDN pipe joke. Ever notice the labels on pipes around the Enterprise? Some read GNDN. It stands for Goes Nowhere, Does Nothing. An inside joke by set designers who labeled dummy pipes to look high-tech. They added numbers and color codes to sell the illusion. It was so convincing that fans believed they were essential ship systems. Decades later, the joke lives on. Those pipes even made a return in Deep Space Nine as a tribute. A boom mic appeared in Charlie X. In Episode 3, a boom mic dips into the frame while Charlie talks to Yeoman Rand. Not once, not twice, multiple times. Back then, reshooting wasn't always an option, so the mic stayed. And now, it's part of Trek trivia history. Even other mistakes, like visible floor marks, shadows, and stage tape, slipped into episodes. But fans embraced the imperfections as part of the charm. Set rigging exposed in Where No Man Has Gone Before, during Kirk's standoff with Gary Mitchell, you can spot the metal scaffolding behind the set walls. Camera angles also reveal extension cords and lighting gear just off-screen. In some wide shots, you're basically looking at a half-finished soundstage. And yet, the story was so strong, most viewers didn't even notice. The shuttle glitches in Galileo 7. In one episode, the crew is stranded on a shuttle. But during Spock's big scene, he accidentally reveals the edge of the shuttle set. Later, as the crew carries a fallen comrade, you can see the top of the blue screen background, and when they're attacked, a spear hits the rock and bounces like it's made of styrofoam. Oops. But again, imagination filled in the gaps. Unpainted lumber and crash mats. On screen, and finally, the wildest mistake of all. In Errand of Mercy, a piece of raw, unpainted wood is clearly visible right below Spock. Later, as Kirk gets knocked into a wall, the entire crash mat meant to cushion his fall is visible. It doesn't stop there. Actor marks on the floor, gray paint drips, and unfinished backdrops all made it into the final cut. And the wildest part? Viewers still believed. Star Trek wasn't perfect. It was brilliant in its flaws. Every corner cut, every trick used, every mistake left in, it all contributed to a show that didn't need blockbuster budgets or CGI wizardry. It had storytelling, imagination, and ingenuity. So the next time someone says Star Trek looked cheap, just remind them it's the imperfections that made it iconic. And if you loved uncovering these secrets, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. Because we're just getting started.